I'm different, therefore I am better, therefore you should accept me. That's the typical thought process that students have. Ask Dr. Gray Pre-Med Q&A brought to you by Blueprint MCAT. How are you today?
I'm good. Thank you.
Yeah, wonderful. What can I help you with?
So I would just want to share a little bit of my background first,
Okay.
before I go ahead with my question. So I was born and raised in a South Asian country, and I completed my high school from there.
Okay.
Then I moved here with my family, and I started my bachelor's. And now I'm almost completing my bachelor's, so I'll be applying next cycle.
Okay.
So I just wanted to just get an idea of what would the best way be to highlight my multicultural background and to establish that I want to be in primary care, basically because primary care is not emphasized enough in the country where I was raised and born.
Okay.
So I just wanted to get an idea what would the best way be to highlight that in my application and personal statement.
So here's my overarching thought is that I don't like and I don't recommend students try to force narratives into an application, right? So the multicultural background, like forcing that into everything you do, at some point gets just it becomes useless. It's like, okay, I get it. You have a diverse background. The fact that on your application, you're going to put that you were born in another country automatically tells me that, right? So you don't need to keep adding it everywhere you go. Now, what I typically see students do is they'll say, well, because of my multicultural background, I can do this. Because of this, I can do that. Because of this. And you're selling yourself. You're saying, look at how different I am. And I'm different, therefore I am better, therefore you should accept me. That's the typical thought process that students have. And I'm telling you that I see applications day in and day out of students just like you, immigrants to this country just like you, who do this same exact thing, and it doesn't help you stand out. Because I can go, well, look at all of these other students who are immigrants from different backgrounds, who speak different languages, who are from different cultures, who have different religions, so that alone is not what separates you. Now, the questions that you need to think about are not how do I add in multicultural, how do I add in primary care? The question that you should be thinking about is how do I tell my story in each part of the application that best answers the specific question in front of me. So if we look at the primary application, the specific question for the personal statement, generally speaking, is why do you want to be a doctor? You tell that specific story. Not, I'm an immigrant to this country and therefore I am multicultural and I understand immigrants and I want to serve the underserved population. That's not the goal of the personal statement. Why do you want to be a doctor? Some of those themes may come out, but don't force them in there. The goal of the activity section. What have you been doing with your life since high school? Shadowing, clinical, research, community service, leadership, right? All of that fun stuff. Hobbies. Again, without forcing in, ooh, I'm an immigrant, therefore I did this. Ooh, I'm an immigrant, therefore I did that. Oh, I speak this one specific language, therefore I am better here, right? Just tell your story as naturally as possible, and those themes will come out. They'll come out naturally. So thinking from the get-go, how do I force this in? I think is the wrong way of thinking about it. And it's just look at each question in front of you at that moment in time, wherever you are in the application cycle, and answer the question to the best of your ability without forcing anything in there. So there may be secondary essays that'll ask, like, how do you envision your future? Are you interested in primary care? For you, that could be a very easy, yes, I'm interested in primary care. Here's why.
Yeah, that was my biggest concern. I just wanted to make sure that I'm adding that element and I'm not just, making it too much for that application.